Hi, good day. So today we'll be doing January 2021, number 2. Right, the first question says factorize the following expression completely. Let's just zoom in. Right. So the first thing we're going to do, especially when you have factorization like this, is you're going to look at the numbers. Say, does 12 and 4 have anything in common? Or what number could go into 12 and 4? We know 4, right? So 4. Then you're going to look at the letters. That's n squared and mn. What do they have in common? They have in common n, right? So it's going to be 4n multiply, open bracket, right? So that's 4n multiplied by what to give you 12n squared. Deal with the numbers first. 4 by what would give you 12? 3. And then n by what would give you n squared? N. Right? So it's going to be 4n by 3n. And then you're going to say 4n multiplied by what would give you 4mn. Right? Well, 4 by 1 would give you 4. And n by what would give you nm? N by m. So it's going to be 1m or just m. But then let's look at the sign. There's a negative. Remember, it's negative 4m. Sorry, negative 4mn. So it's going to be minus m. Close bracket. So the answer for the first one is 4n, open bracket, 3n minus m, close bracket. And that is how you would do the first. Let's do part B. So they said show that x, let's write it over, x over 1 minus x is minus 4x is equals to x, open bracket, 4x minus 3, close bracket, all over 1 minus x. What we first recognize is they have the same denominator. This does not, so let's put this over 1. And to get your same denominator, what are you going to do? Find the LCM. What could go into 1 minus x and 1? You multiply the two because they have nothing in common, right? So it's going to be 1 minus x multiplied by 1. So you're going to say now 1 minus x into your denominator into your LCM, right? We won't call it LCM as your LCF, your lowest common factor, right? So this would be 1 minus x could go into 1 by 1 minus x 1 time. So you multiply this by 1. And 1 into this would be, so if you want, you could do this at the side. 1 open bracket, 1 minus x, close bracket, all divided by the LCM. You see these two cancel out. That's how I get multiply by 1. And then you put 1 open bracket, 1 minus x divided by 1. These ones will cancel out each other. So you'll multiply the numerator by 1 minus x, right? So it's going to be x by 1 is x. Then you're going to say minus 4x by 1 minus x, right? Let's do this. This is equal to x minus 4x by 1 is minus 4x. And minus 4x by plus 1, sorry, minus 4x by minus x is equal to plus 4x squared. Right? Now, x minus 4x is actually minus 3x plus 4x squared. You could rearrange it, right? All over 1 minus x. Rearrange it so you have 4x squared minus 3x all over 1 minus x. But we don't want it like this. We want a bracket. And when you have brackets, what does that mean? We factorize, right? So you're going to ask yourself, what does 4x squared and minus 3x have in common? First of all, 4 and 3 only have 1 in common, right? So we could put 1. X squared and x, what they have in common? X, right? So 1x multiplied by what would give you a first term, that's 4x squared. And 1x multiplied by what would give you your second term, minus 3x. 1x by 4x, and then 1x by minus 3. So it's going to be x, open bracket, whatever is in your box here, that's 4x minus 3, close bracket, all divided by 1 minus x. Is that the same? Yes, so we have shown how they would have x over 1 minus x minus 4x could be reduced to this form. All right, then they say hence solve the equation. Now, remember, I always say when you see the word hence, they mean use the answer that you have above to solve it. So basically, they're telling you to use x, open bracket, 4x minus 3 all over 1 minus x. This is equal to 0, right? Because remember, this here is the same thing as x, open bracket, 4x minus 3 close bracket over x minus 1. That is equal to 0. So we want to solve for x, right? You have this, carry this across over the equal sign, right? Remember, you want to make x the subject. If you carry across, divide by, it's going to turn to multiply. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0, right? So I'm not even going to put it. So it's x, open bracket, 4x minus 3, close bracket, is equal to 0 because 1 minus x multiplied by 0 is 0, right? Now, if you don't recognize, you actually have your brackets here, right? So you let, when we solve like quadratics like this, you can let each bracket be equal to 0. So the first term is x is equals to 0, and then your second bracket is 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. You make x the subject, carry across minus 3. If you carry across minus 3, the opposite of minus 3 is plus 3. So it's going to be 3. Then you carry across 4, multiply by 4. The opposite of multiply by 4 is divide. So it's 3 divided by 4. Right? So the answer here will be x is equals to 0 or x is equals to 3 over 4. And that is the answer you will get for part 2. So part C says, make B the subject of the formula. So it is P is equal to the square root of 5 plus VT. Now, obviously, we have to get rid of the square root because we have square root everything here. So if you carry across the square root over the equal sign, again, anytime you carry something over the equal sign, this is the opposite. The opposite of square root is squared. So it would be P squared is equals to this, sorry, why am I writing square root? Is equal to 5 plus VT. Now, we need to carry across plus 5 over the equal sign. The opposite of plus 5 is minus 5. So that's P squared minus 5 is equals to VT. Then we want to make what? V the subject. The relationship between V and T is multiply. V multiplied by T. So if you want to carry across multiply by T, it is going to turn to divide by T. So it is P squared minus 5 all divided by T is equal to V. So this would be your answer. V is equals to P squared minus 5 all over T. And that is how you would do part C. All right, part D, let's read it very quickly. The distance needed to stop a car, D, varies directly. Varies directly is the sign here as the square of the speed. As the square of the speed. So that is speed squared at which it is traveling, right? So that's what this first statement means. And we know when they say varies directly or directly proportional, right? What happens to the proportion or the varied sign is that it will turn to D is equal to a constant multiplied by what it is varied or what it is directly proportional to, right? So KS squared, right? So now that we know this is the equation that we have gotten, let's read the second part. A car travels at a speed of 70 kilometers per hour, requires a distance of 40 meters to make a stop, right? So they're telling you, right, D is the distance needed to stop. So when D is equals to 40, your speed is equals to 70, right? So let us now put that in this equation. We need to find out the k, which is a constant, right, to solve anything, right? So we're going to say 40 is equals to k by 70 squared. So that is k is equal to, hold on, let's not jump the gun. That is 40 is equal to k multiplied by 70 by 70. Well, 70 squared is 4,900. Okay, so we're going to solve for k. So if we're going to make k the subject, you're going to carry across 490 over the equal sign, multiply by 490. So k is equals to 40 over 4,900, right? You can 40 over 4,900 is equal to 2 over 4, 245. So now that we know this, let's see what the second part of the question says. What distance, so they want to know what d is equal to, required to stop a car at 80 kilometers per hour. So that means d is equal to, what is k? 2 over 245 s squared. So d is equal to 2 over 245. What is s, or what is the speed? 80 squared. You can put this in your calculator, multiply by over 80 squared. And when you put this in your calculator, right, you're going to get d is equal to 52 and 12 over 49. What is d? D is in meters. However, you can leave it like this, or you can put it into one decimal place, because CSEC requires you to approximate it to one decimal place. You press in your calculator, there's an ABC button. When you have your answer like this, press ABC and you'll get 52.244899796. You're going to approximate to one decimal place, so it's one digit after your decimal, right? You look at the digit after the line that I drew, right? After one decimal place, that digit is 4, so that means you don't have to add a 1, right? You're approximating. So D is equals to 52.2 meters to one decimal place. And that is how you would answer this question. And that is the end of January 2021.